Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled debt. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name.
Everybody, what you doing? What you doing? How you doing? Look out, look out. Here we come, here we come. It's the Big C, Bigger T podcast coming at you right now on your FM dial. Wait, we're not on the FM dial.
I think we're on the internet.
I was doing kind of a radio voice there, and I just went all crazy with it. Hey, it's your boy, Bigger T, and I'm here with my man, my best friend, Clint Clark. How you doing, Clint?
Fantastic.
Look at him being all fantastic right there.
Woo!
Look at him, folks. He's all fantastic. And he, you know, since he's fantastic, he can clean off multi-surfaces. Anyway, sorry, that was a dumb joke.
That was a bad joke.
That was a bad joke. Well, Clint, man, how's it going? How's your week been?
Man, it has been really good. No complaints at all. But you know what? But I was sad.
This is number 50.
50.
We're turning 50.
I'm gonna hang upside down. Give me a second. I gotta hold on.
You got a good view of your bald spot right
I need oh.
Yeah. Prior to
You're supposed to bring that up.
Well, just like 50 Cent, we haven't all aged well.
Yeah, I'm thinner than I used to be, and so is my hair.
There you go. No, yeah, man, we're 50 episodes in. Who would have known it? 2 more episodes will be a year. We got a year anniversary coming up.
Ooh, I'm at least going to wear a party hat.
A party hat. Okay.
You know what I think we should both do for your anniversary is we should get one of those, like, you know, we were talking about it, like, because I had my son this weekend. He's talking about his smash cake, like that they give the 1 year.
Yeah,
we should start the podcast and just get us a smash cake.
Yeah.
My boy now, I'm proud of him. He ate that entire dang thing.
Did he?
He was sitting there. He's like, first, you know, he's like, what do I do with it? Then my dad walks behind him, grabs his hand, just stick him in it, sticks his hand in it, and all of a sudden he just.
There you go.
Ate them.
That's always been interesting to me because you spend that whole first year trying to get them to eat properly. And then in one day you ruin everything you taught them for the year and you got to restart it.
Dude, and I vaguely remember that because I get a cold that seems like every year in May. Just that where like you have a choice between chewing your food and breathing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was in that. So I think I finished the birthday party. I went home, went to bed. But oh yeah, but he did. I was proud of him. He ate that entire thing.
Whole thing, huh?
And I love birthday cake.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I love birthday cake.
That's right.
I don't know. I would have feel weird going to Harps. I'd like to order birthday cake. What do you want to say on the cake? Like happy 1 year anniversary, Big C, Bigger T.
Bigger T.
I'm gonna eat it on air.
That's right.
Gabe will be sitting at home watching it on YouTube. He'll go first like, first comment, and then the next one will be like, that's the Clint Clark I know and love.
That's right.
Stuffing his fat face full of sweets. Like,
that's right. Clint, I tried to get I went to Walmart to get some of the Nutty Butter Little Debbie ice cream. And they didn't have any.
Oh man.
It was sold out.
They had it at the Greenbrier, but I was too cheap to buy it.
Sold out of the zebra cake one too.
Yeah. I may do that I really do watch my diet anymore, except for 1 meal a week. I have a cheat meal. And I may get that for dessert, my cheat meal. I may get the Nutter Butter or the Nutty Buddy. Yeah, I think I will.
All right, Clint. Well, as usual, we want to talk about our Holy Shnikes moment of the week.
Keep your hands up, Coach.
This one just jumped up and slapped us in the face. Oh, wait. Juwan Howard, one of the Fab Five at Michigan. Now the coach from Michigan Wolverines.
And he's done a good job there. He really has.
Good job, yeah.
Had them like they were ranked. I think they were a 1 or 2 seed last year.
But apparently didn't like a timeout that the Wisconsin coach had called. The Wisconsin coach said he called a timeout to reset the 10-second clock because his team was having a hard time getting the ball up the court, and it was down to 4, so he called a timeout in order to reset that. And apparently Juwan Howard didn't like that, and so he said something about it. And the Wisconsin coach kind of grabbed Juwan Howard and kind of got in his face and started talking to him about whatever Juwan Howard said. I think it's out there what he said, right?
I don't know, but I'm sure it wasn't PG.
Used a vulgarity or two, and
yeah.
And Juwan Howard didn't like that guy coach had grabbed him, and he threw a roundhouse at him, sort of slap hit, whatever.
Yeah, it was
a basketball punch.
It's a basketball fight that really doesn't.
Yeah,
I've only seen like one good basketball fight ever, and that was Malice in the Palace.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Larry Johnson, Todd Day.
Todd Day fade away or overhead right.
Todd Day threw that fist thinking, oh, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him. He jumped back. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No, it used, and so he was mad. And you know what? I get it. Basketball etiquette says you don't do that. You don't call a timeout when you're up big. And Michigan's coach has put his basketball, you just turn the ball over at that point. It's not like the turnover is going to hurt you. It's not like these are kids that you're planning on, okay, these are going to be my guys. These are guys that are sitting on the end of your bench that you're hoping that you're going to get better guys in to replace them.
Yeah.
So their egos are not important.
Yeah.
Trust me, you ask Steve Mullins, head coach of Arkansas Tech University, my ego was not the most important thing in the world to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And so Juan's mad, and justifiably so, in my opinion. He's trying to give him like all right, I'm halfway shaking your hand. He's going just going by. And he probably muttered something under his breath, and he grabbed him by the arm. And then it de-escalated from there. You know, here's the thing. Whatever was said, the Wisconsin coach was 100% classless for calling that timeout, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He can have an excuse, whatever he wants, but it was a classless move. And you know what? If you don't want somebody to do that to you, if you're Juwan Howard, don't put yourself in that situation. Don't get blown out.
Yeah.
And then you ain't in that situation. But at the end of the day, you cannot throw a punch.
Yeah.
And this was the second time last year he got into it with Maryland's coach.
So do we get rid of the handshake line?
No, that's not the answer. That's not that. I mean,
you believe people are saying that?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We when I was my senior year in high school, I had a guy that we were mouthing each other from Mountain View all game long. He was being a jerk. I'm sure I was being a perfect gentleman.
Of course.
At no point did I talk trash. Robert's out there going scoreboard, and I'm saying other stuff not as clean as scoreboard. And so I remember that after the end of the thing, guy he goes, good game, and slaps me on the shoulder pads as hard as he could. You know, one of those that turns your body a little bit. You have to just walk on by and be the bigger person.
It wasn't Abernathy, was it?
It was not Abernathy. No. Abernathy was on the other side of the line. I'd like to say, I played against Chad Abernathy and I dominated. No, he was over there. He was over there. That's probably why they ran behind me all night, because that way they didn't have to run at Abernathy. Yeah. But you're the adult, you're the coach, you're the guy setting the example. You got to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
If you want anything, use it for fuel next year. It just you took away from your team. You took away from Wisconsin. You are now the story.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it should be. The kids should be the story.
Well, he got 5-game suspension.
Yeah, it literally just broke right before me and you started recording this podcast.
Is that enough?
I think it should have been for the remainder of the season.
I do too.
Which, well, I think I know Arkansas's got 4 games left, so you figure they got about 4 games. And then the first game of the conference tournament is probably fair.
Yeah.
It probably is fair. I didn't think it was a fireable offense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's obviously, this kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated. They need to send a strong message.
Yeah.
And I think they did. I think 5 games is probably, like I said, I was for the remainder of the season, and that's long and short. He got about that. They're not going to the NCAA tournament unless they win their conference tournament, which it's going to be hard for them to win the Big Ten.
Yeah. Now you had another Holy Snikes moment you wanted to bring up.
Well, we had this in this Olympics, and I don't know the athlete's name.
Wait, the what?
The Olympics.
Is that been going on?
Yeah, no, I didn't notice. I think I watched. I don't even know what I watched. That's how little I watched the Winter Olympics.
Hey, I watched as much of that as I did the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that either. But apparently Steph Curry had a heck of a game.
Did he? Okay.
Oh, there's one where he shoots a deep 3 and the ball hasn't even made it past the free throw line. Curry's already walking that way. Like he's already taken like 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah.
And the ball hasn't even made it to the hoop yet. Like he's like, that's going in.
That's
but cool. There was a Russian figure skater tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, made a bunch of appeals.
What, Russia uses drugs?
Yeah.
No.
Now, of course, this is a Russian who have fairer skin, such as mine and yourself. And now, why I want to bring up that there's a double standard, and why this irked me more. There was an African American young lady, I believe, from the state of Louisiana, who tested positive for marijuana.
Yeah.
And basically lost her Olympic dream. Now, marijuana is not performance enhancing. You can say we're not having that discussion here today, but you had 2 athletes tested positive. One was able to compete.
Both for illegal substances.
And if I did want to make a joke, because I'd had it in my pocket all week, and if I don't use it, I'm going to feel like I wasted it. If marijuana was a performance enhancing drug, Willie Nelson would be a super athlete.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Travis.
That's okay. He's a super singer.
He is a super singer, the redheaded stranger.
That's right. Yeah, that's definitely and I wonder why that is. Why they let one go and the other one they didn't. Yeah. That just blows my mind, because that's I mean, both should be equal,
Right. And I don't know, maybe the Russian was already there and then the one hadn't made it there. I don't know. I haven't researched that much.
Yeah.
But to your guy sitting at home in Arkansas watching TV, it looks like a double standard to me.
Yeah.
And I don't like
it, but
I don't know.
Once again, there may be extenuating circumstances there, but I don't see what if one test pops a positive for one and another pops a positive for the other. It seems like it should be equal. Both illegal substances they're not supposed to be using as athletes.
Yeah.
They're testing for them, then they should get the same amount of, and is it that right now the world's a little scared of what Russia's about to do and
Right. Yeah.
That is making, plus Putin's kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Man, I tell you what, that shirtless on a horse.
Yeah. I mean,
scared me. I mean, I've been shirtless on a horse before and it didn't look near that good.
No, it didn't look near that.
No, it's not good.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, Clint, the basketball team had a good week.
They had a great week.
Tennessee came to town and Bud Walton was rocking.
Man, it was.
And the fans did awesome. And the team played well. They just played great. Note got in some foul trouble, but that didn't change. I mean, it didn't hurt because people stepped up. Devo Davis, Chris Light, those guys stepped up and played their part. Devo, everybody did a good job.
So Robert was criticizing the broadcast a little bit on our Marco Polo. Said that Dane Bradshaw was being a bit of a homer for Tennessee, and you said you didn't notice it that bad. I didn't notice it that bad either.
Yeah,
but I'm like, man, he probably never listened to Jimmy Dykes.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the broadcasters were pretty fair.
I think Bradshaw does. I think Dane Bradshaw does a good job. He's one of my favorite color guys.
They were talking good about the stadium. They were talking good about the team. They were talking, and he's gonna talk about Tennessee, but I think a lot of times people get frustrated with that because they think they all should be Chuck Barrett, and all Chuck Barrett's gonna do is talk hog stuff. That's just the way it is. They have to talk about both teams. They have to, and Tennessee was ranked higher than us.
Well, and it's a hard gig because you're filling dead air. The last thing that you want, we have a podcast, me and you talk back and forth, and if we sit here and just look at each other, it's not going to be good. So you have to fill it, and you're going to fill it with what you know. Yeah. And Dane Bradshaw, I think Eric Musselman and Dykes are like best friends or neighbors or something like that. So obviously Dykes going to talk a little bit more about Arkansas.
Yeah.
And Bradshaw may talk a little bit more about Tennessee, but I didn't think it was that bad. I've seen some games that bordered on unprofessional, and I didn't think that once. But I just wanted to make fun of Robert a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and then we had the red out, so the fans were amazing. The red, the former players that are professional players now, they got to announce the team. Bobby Portis was there, hugging his trophy. I love that stuff, Clint.
Oh no, man, and man, Musselman gets it.
Yeah,
and he's a showman. And they had a high 5-star recruit there that I know we're still on the fight for it. And that was a great game for him to go see.
That's right.
And I think the Arkansas fans, when the team needs them, they will show up and show out.
Yeah.
And that was a tough game. Now I'm not looking. Now we've got to go back to Tennessee. And if I'm Scott Lawson, who we've had on this podcast as a guest picker, I'm going to that game, and I'm going to wear orange, and I'm going to get loud.
Yeah.
I would have an orange out. Like, you know what? We're going to top your red out with an orange out.
That's right.
But that's the environment.
The ugliest out ever.
Yeah. Orange, that burnt orange is hideous.
Their orange is hideous.
Yeah. But all orange is hideous.
No, not the Cleveland Browns. No.
Yeah, it's brown orange.
Yeah, they the schedule doesn't get any easier. Okay, we got who do we have in the middle of the week?
We got Florida at Florida, I think tomorrow.
Who just beat Auburn.
Yep.
And then we got
Kentucky this week.
Saturday.
And then middle of the week next week, LSU.
Yeah.
Which the LSU game was kind of when we turned it around.
Yeah.
And then we closed the season out at Tennessee.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think Tennessee, I think they're gonna want to repay the favor.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Well, and LSU wants to repay the favor, and Kentucky, we're going to be a hot team going into Kentucky no matter what. And then Florida's on a high right now. They just beat Auburn.
Right.
The high, once again, very similar to the Arkansas win. They rushed the floor, highest ranked team they've ever beaten, of course, at Florida. So it's a tough schedule left, Clint.
Yeah, see, and people aren't ragging on Florida for rushing the court.
No.
And you got, and Florida's got probably a bigger, just as good basketball tradition.
Well, their coach didn't end up out there shirtless with his arm in a sling either.
Well,
that made a little bit of difference, I think, for us. It got a little more attention because our coach did that, I think, which to me was a positive. I was all for it, but
I thought it was great.
Anytime you do something you get a lot of attention for, there's always going to be naysayers. So
no. Have you listened to JD Notte on the Buzz?
A couple times.
I hear he's not the most talkative guy.
No, and he doesn't show up half the time, I don't think.
Somebody said they started thinking, said you've been notated.
Yeah.
Because I guess so to fill his time up, he'll like ask him to repeat the question.
Yeah.
That way he don't have to talk as long.
Yeah.
And David, it's a shame that Tommy's retired because I think Tommy would have a blast with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
just making fun of, like, not making fun of him, but having fun at their expense about how Notte does them.
Yeah.
But
yep. Once again, just talking about some of the players, Jalen Williams, he just keeps doing it, Clint.
Yeah.
Gets Tennessee his
co-player of the week.
Next level.
He really is. He's the SEC's got a bunch of big men, and I think Jalen's the best one. You really hope he comes back with his junior year because with the recruiting class they have coming in, I think the guys that are going out are being replaced by guys that are even better coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you got the potential for 3 one and dones, at least 2. You got 2 5-stars, so you figure, and then so you hope you can get Jalen to stay.
Yeah.
No way he's the big guy, which I've not seen anything with him being drafted. So hopefully he chooses to stay. I think it'd be best for him to stay.
And Devo Davis showing back up, showing us the player he was toward the end of the year last year a little bit.
Yeah. And I like Dane Bradshaw even said, he goes, he is the most confident 26% 3-point shooter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But no, and I think him coming off the bench has been good for him.
Yeah.
I think them really running the offense. I think they tried to run the offense through Devo and it just wasn't him. Yeah. And I think now they let JD and Devo can do Devo.
Yeah.
And I think it was you.
Yeah. Yeah. Devo definitely, man. He's and defensively, he's showing his strength. And that's where this team is built, is defense. And doing the little things. This team does the little things that they need to do to win games. And that's why there's no telling what they can do. So we're ranked 18th right now.
18th, up from 20. And we spent like weeks saying, like, where's the respect? Where's the respect?
Yeah.
Now we weren't, it didn't seem like that long ago. We were last 4 in, first 4 out, something like that. One of a borderline fringe NCAA tournament team.
Yeah.
Now I always do it. Like you can look at Joe Lenardi's bracketology and see like we may be in quadrant 7, seed 4, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you do about the rankings, okay, 1 through 16 are your top 4 seeds. We'd be a 5 seed.
Yeah.
Up from barely making the tournament.
Yeah.
It's a tough schedule down the stretch, but I even think even if you go 0-4, which I just don't think we'll do.
Yeah.
You're an NCAA tournament team in my opinion. And
there was a time when we, like you said, we didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh, I was off the Must Bus. I posted on the page like the Must Bus has a flat. He figured it out. He figured out the button is no longer. You can say, okay, we won some fluky games against some fluky. You don't go to LSU and win. You don't even go to Ole Miss and win and not play well.
Yeah.
Road wins in the SEC are hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy to go anywhere and win. And home wins against Tennessee, Alabama, it's they're good wins. You're looking at a 5 seed. You keep winning. You win 3 out of 4 of these last. You win 3 out of these last 4. I think you can go up as high as a 3 seed.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have to make at least the semifinals of the SEC tournament. So you'll have to win at least a game in the SEC tournament. I mean, I think we could be anywhere from a 3 seed and probably go to low as a 9, depending on how you finish down the stretch.
Yeah. That's, but still, compared to what we thought a few weeks ago, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just say that. Now, Clint, we've talked a lot on this podcast in the past about how good things are on the Hill right now. Okay, we got maybe the best group of coaches we've ever seen in the major sports, even in the minor sports.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of waiting on football to catch up, but this year, football caught up, right?
Exactly.
Right now, okay, and I was watching, some of this is going to come from listening to Trey Biddy, his podcast today. But right now, according to Trey Biddy, we're the only school in the country that is ranked in basketball, football, and baseball in the top 25.
Right.
The only one. And now, one of the things about Arkansas, the big negative that everybody says that, why coaches shouldn't go there or whatever, is you just can't recruit there. Right? That's what we hear, isn't it, Clint?
Right.
Clint, the success in these sports, they're helping each other out. And it's turning around our recruiting records.
It is. And I mean, we're number 3 in football, 2 in basketball, 5 in baseball. I'm not looking at that line right now.
2 in baseball, 3 in basketball, and 5 in football.
Yeah. I mean,
5 in baseball, 2 in basketball, and 3 in football.
Yeah.
Now that football one's going to go up, right? Right now, the ones in front of us are Notre Dame and Georgia, and it's Alabama and some of these other schools add 5 stars. It's just proving that, Arkansas just doesn't get quite as many 5 stars as what some of those schools do.
But I think you're
going to go up there, but still for right now.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Top 5 in all 3 of those.
Enjoy it. But yeah, and enjoy it. I mean, it's probably going to come down to about 12. I figure you may end up border edge of the top 10, maybe low top 10 to
Canes.
Yeah. But man, no, and it's unbelievable. And you see the synergy, the recruiting weekends that they are able to provide. And that's why you see a lot of fans complain when they don't have Saturday games. It makes a huge difference. And have an environment like the Texas game to bring basketball recruits too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good. One of the things they do at the Razorback basketball games every game, and I love this, and I think it's great that the fans do, is they find a player that they just going to hate on the entire game, and it gives them a villain.
Did they pick the right one against Tennessee or what?
Yeah, they did. They just that guy from Auburn, he wanted to. I think that's the one that ran under Devo on that dunk.
Yeah,
that they've been booing all game, and but he took off running at Devo too, and the fans were court. He's like, "Nope, I'm not going to do this. Not fighting today."
No, I love the fans that they have a guy like that. Every time he touches the ball, they're booing him and yelling at him, and man, that's got to stick in your head. That's got to.
But can you have a good story without a good villain, Travis?
You can't, Clint.
You need a good villain, which brought me to my next. It inspired me to our next topic that we're going to discuss. Is me and Travis, we love music, we love all kinds of arts, but it's hard to beat a good flick, a good movie, sports flick.
That's right.
And when I was, I was in there, and so what we was going to do, me and Travis both going to list our top 5. We love to hate them. We just love to hate them. Sports villains
Yep. Clint, and there's some good ones. You know, there was a deal going around on social media with some of these, and I think I came up with a good list here. Some of them were on that deal that went around on social media. Some of them.
Oh yeah. No, I know, and I stole this idea. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think it was a Bleacher. Was it Bleacher Report or ESPN? I'd like to give whoever
One of those people. Yeah.
one of y'all. I stole it from you. I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's a good idea.
That's right. So here it is, Clint. Ready? We're gonna do this. We're gonna boomerang back and forth. We're not gonna reveal ours until we get to it. So my number 5, maybe your number 2, whatever.
You go right ahead.
We'll just go and we won't reveal it till we get to them.
If they're not on the list, I'll tell you they're not on the list.
But we're gonna start with 5 and work our way down to 1. Okay. My number 5, I bet, is higher on your list, but you can answer that later.
Yeah.
He's an easy one to hate. The only reason I don't have him higher on my list is because just the type of movie it is. It's a comedy, and he's not a very realistic person. Okay. Mine get worse the more realistic they are. And it's Shooter McGavin.
Oh, I don't even have him on my list, and I feel so dumb for not having him.
You don't have him. Oh,
I didn't have him on my list. And you know what's bad is I'm sitting there thinking like movies I love, like I'm thinking about Warrior. I'm like, well, there's really not a villain in Warrior. Yeah. It's more, I'm thinking different movies like no. And there's another thing about my list too that you can make fun of me. I'll tell you after it because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't have Shooter McGavin on my list, but man,
Shooter McGavin, of course, he bought Billy Madison's grandma's house. He picked on Billy. Billy was just a young hockey player, just that could crush a golf ball, living that dream, trying to make it to the NHL, but he couldn't skate. Poor guy couldn't skate.
Poor guy was not a very good skater.
Couldn't skate. But he got the girl. He ended up getting grandma's house back, and he hit a pretty freaky putt there toward the end of the game, and Shooter McGavin loses. But Shooter McGavin's my number 5.
Shooter.
Happy.
Oh, no, I love. There's that meme. There's the picture of him with Tiger Woods said the greatest golfer of all time in Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But what was funny is they on the anniversary of the film, like him and Sandler had a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
On Twitter about it.
Yeah.
And I think he sunk a putt, and Sandler hit the drive.
Yeah. All right. So what's yours? Number 5.
Number 5. I'm just going to say the name. You tell me if you recognize the movie. Is Flat Top.
Flat Top from
the Texas Colts.
Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness.
Yeah.
He just
the Quantum Leap guy's the quarterback.
Yeah. And I love Necessary Roughness.
Sinbad's at center.
It's so Mono
Ireland's the kicker.
Yeah. I mean that's Scott Bakula is not the most believable college quarterback.
No.
And it's not the most believable of movies.
Well, he was a guy that went back to college
and I get that. You just wonder what could have been, what you could have done, and you're like, okay. And they, but no, that was.
But the fat guy in Kathy Ireland had a little thing going.
Yeah, that was Manu the Slender.
That's right. That gave me a little hope.
Well, the dean from that movie, I don't remember the dean, but he could have easily been the villain too.
Yeah, he's a bad guy in lots of stuff. I think that one guy he's in a lot of different.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's my number 4. And this one is a twofer.
Oh.
Because he's a bad guy in 2 different movies. One you don't necessarily think of as a sports movie. But he's because of a new trending show, he's worked his way out of the bad guys, so that's why he's not higher up on the list. But Johnny Lawrence, also Chase Osborne from Back to School, same guy, same actor, played them both. From, of course, Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid.
Right. William Zabka. He doesn't have a lot of range. He's Johnny Lawrence in every.
Johnny Lawrence, but in Chase Osborne is who he played in Back to School. But he's a bad guy in both of those. So that's my number 4, bad guy. But of course, Cobra Kai brings up the question: was he really a bad guy?
Well, I think it's a matter of perspective.
I think he was.
Well, they ganged up on a kid. You know, I mean, that's the long and short of it. It's a matter of perspective. You kind of, that's what I like about Cobra Kai. It makes you kind of see things from Johnny's view, humanizes Johnny.
Yeah.
And what was crazy about Cobra Kai too is Ralph Macchio said, he goes, man, I've gotten so many people come up wanting me to reboot the Karate Kid through the years, and this was the first one that's really good. What my wife loves, and we'll be sitting there watching Cobra Kai on Netflix, and I'll just go, karate fight! Karate fight! And she'll just roll her eyes like, you idiot.
All right, what's your number 4?
Bud Kilmer from the West Canaan Coyotes. From
Varsity
Blues.
Yeah.
I think all of us, we think our coaches, our high school coaches, Bud Kilmer.
Yeah.
But no, he's just a jerk, threatening to mess with kids' grades, wants to inject them. He's mean to Billy Bob.
Yeah.
And Voight played the heck out of the character, man.
He did, yeah.
He did. He's
all those years of being mean to Angelina Jolie. He's had practice.
Well, he's felt trauma in his life.
That's right.
It ain't easy. You don't just go film Deliverance and then go to Varsity Blues.
That's right.
And come out normal. You just don't do it.
Well, heck, I went on Seinfeld. The guy bit Kramer one time. Come on. Remember when the episode where George bought John Voight's used car?
Man,
turns out it was the wrong John Voight. It was a dentist.
I don't remember that one. I wasn't a huge Seinfeld guy.
Oh well,
but yeah.
All right. So number 3, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna tell you the name of the character, and this is actually one reason he's on my list. And I probably should have put him higher, to be honest with you, but I didn't.
Well, I left someone total off while you're sitting there talking. I've got a list of people that I've left off. Yeah. So we can discuss a few other good villains. And
well, this one is so bad because he's a real person, and he really did the things that he did on this movie. And that is Ben Chapman. You know what movie he's in?
I don't know.
It's in the movie 42 about Jackie Robinson.
I never watched it. It's probably a great movie.
Remember the guy that played the pirate on Dodgeball?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's him playing him. But he was the Phillies manager. And I saw an interview where they asked him, did you really say things like that? Because in the movie, he says some very racist and horrible things about Jackie Robinson.
Right.
And he said, yeah, I said them. He said, but you got to understand, I wasn't the only one. People said dumb things. And anyway, so not to get too serious, but that guy did a great job playing him. But yeah, he's definitely a guy, when you think of villain, you think of guys you want to hate. And when you hear him talk to Jackie Robinson and in that movie, and once again, he confirmed those are the things he said, so those are things in real life Jackie Robinson dealt with. So anyway, so that was my number 3.
Well, America's got an ugly past when it comes to that. And like I said, he wasn't the only one. It was a different time. And at least he owns it, doesn't run from it.
Yeah.
But you said the guy was played by Steve the Pirate.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my number 3, White Goodman. I mean,
I knew he would be on yours.
Oh yeah. I was looking up a character's name because I was brain farting on it. I didn't use Google, so I still got my Google for the one episode left.
Okay, good.
Totally different app. White Goodman, man, he plays it so well. And and if anybody, not many people, I know me and you probably have, we watched the movie Heavyweights with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
And he plays the same, it's basically the same character. I think Ben wrote both of them.
Yeah.
And so Ben's like, I'm just going to play another, I can't remember the character in Heavyweights, but he was great. The dodgeball, the team, all the muscular guys.
Yeah.
Go out there. ESPN will still do, from that movie, they'll still do the Ocho.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where he just played the heck out of the role.
Yeah.
And he had his wife as the lead actress.
Yeah.
And then it just the entire thing, the purple cobras, he's in there eating the pea. And we bought my boss one year for his Christmas present. I don't know, we get him a ridiculous Christmas present. I photoshopped his face, grabbing the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
Like, that's a metaphor.
That's right.
But it really happened.
All right, Clint. Number 2 for me, and I think for a lot of people would probably be number 1, but this is my villains, right? And I may surprise you because you probably thought he would be my number 1.
Okay.
Is Ivan Drago.
That's a good one.
If he dies, he dies.
You know what? And I'm sitting there looking at my list, and I did not have one Rocky villain.
What?
On my list. Not
like,
one.
I seriously struggled between him and Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Clubber Lang, he told Adrian, hey, you want to know hey girl, if you want to know what a real man's like.
Yeah. No, they're both great. And I can't, and I've on my list of people that I don't have on there. I've even got Apollo Creed. He's not on my list, but I got Apollo Creed. Cause man, Apollo Creed in the first movie, he's like, hey, I'm giving him an opportunity. I'm gonna carry him. Not a big deal. And he comes off kind of a sympathetic character. He's still training hard, but like, hey man, I know I'm not on this level. I just want to try to hang with the guy. And then in the second one, he is just a jerk.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to prove that I can beat this bum, that was a fluke.
Yeah.
And they're like, champ, if you go this way, you going, he ain't going to be, and he don't care. I'm like, I think because we romanticize Creed.
Yeah.
And then he becomes sympathetic character the way he dies at the hands of Ivan Drago. And that's not a spoiler alert, guys. The movie's been out for 30 years. So I'm sorry. If you missed it, I'm happy I spoiled it. Yeah. So, but you forget what a jerk he was in the first couple.
Well, and with Ivan Drago, back to him, the importance of that movie, because it ended the Cold War.
It did.
Rocky ended the Cold War with Rocky IV. That's why a lot of people say it's one of the worst Rocky movies. I say it's one of the best because it ended the Cold War. Views can change and eyes can change, and we can all change. All he had to do was beat the machine, Ivan Drago, and he stole his wife. So,
did Stallone get enough credit for ending the Cold War?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. In fact, we need to send him over to the Ukraine right now.
Hey, like Biden don't need to sit with him.
No,
we don't. Anybody else sit with him
before gas goes up to $7 a gallon.
But by the way, I think we can all agree before Stallone meets him, we need to get him out in the remote wilderness.
Oh, get him a workout.
Yeah, get him like a 5-minute workout.
Yeah, but to an epic song.
It's going to be a montage.
Yeah, to an epic
The
song.
montage. Hopefully, they're already filming this on remote location.
Yeah,
somewhere in Alaska.
Yeah, they'll lead into that on CNN with that to the summit. All right, who's your number two?
No, and this was another one. This is it's kind of a twofer because she's a horrible person in two different movies.
Yeah,
Major League 1 and 2. Rachel Phelps.
Yeah,
just the horrible person. And I love it in Major League 1 where they're like they just keep taking stuff from the team.
Yeah,
like she goes that like they've got them flying in this old plane.
Yeah,
He takes the plane from them,
and they're in no bus. Yeah. No, she's a good one. Yeah, she's definitely a good one. So looking at our list, Clint, so far, we have not said the same one on any of these.
Oh, no, not.
We have not matched up anybody.
No, we have not. Not one person.
Now we're about to match one.
Okay.
But one of your other ones is my top one.
All right.
And that is Bud Kilmer.
Oh, yeah. I noticed you weren't very talkative on him.
I wasn't because he's my number one. Listen, if you're that big of a jerk to where your team has to take over and go out and win the last game and look, RIP, but what's his name? Ron Connor. That's what he played in Fast and Furious.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker out coaches you. You're a bad guy. you're a bad guy. And he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And just a jerk, like you said, you said all the things, shooting the knee, wanting to shoot the knee up on his running back and the way he treated everybody and threatening scholarships and all that kind of stuff. Look, dude, you are bad news. You're a villain. You're horrible. I don't like you. Let Juwan Howard throw a basketball punch at you. Sorry, buddy. Here my number one, Bud Kilmer. Take that.
And what's great is that's he's got to be the worst person in the history of sports movies because he's literally the only one that's on both our lists.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm up to my number one. And it's not on your list. I've got Big Ernie McCracken from Kingpin.
Yeah, I thought about him.
Dude, first off, I'm going to say this. That scene at the end of the last bowling match where both they're with Woody Harrelson's and Bill Murray's comb over just coming across and they're dancing. He's got that ball with a rose in it. But yeah, first off, he basically ruins Woody Harrelson's life by taking him to gamble. He gets his hand cut off in the ball return machine, which I'm not sure how realistic that is. But to this day, I'm not sticking my hand in there.
Yeah.
But he is just the absolute, I think, to me, I'm like, okay, which one of these do I hate the most? Because I listed a bunch of the villains. And I'm like, oh, that guy's like, this guy's just, he's the most despicable human being because they're asking, hey, how about this fraternity suit in Kentucky? He's like, oh, no. He's blowing them off. Ugh. Bunch of jerks. But now, do you have I got some that I left off the list, and you can add to this list. So I've got Warden Hazen from Longest Yard.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
Basically trying to make Paul Crewe throw the game.
Yeah.
I have Spike from Little Giants.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Jack Parkman.
What's that?
Major League 2, the guy that's the guy. Now, this may be one of the most unrealistic scenes in the history of movies at the end of Major League 2, which Major League 2, a lot of people ragged on it because it came after Major League 1 or the original Major League. And I actually loved Major League too,
Mm.
where Wild Thing comes out. He goes, I want Parkman. And he's turned back into Wild Thing.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, but he's not up. This guy's up. He goes, well, I'm going to walk him.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'm going to walk him. I'm going to pitch to Parkman. And then strikes him out.
I'll tell you an unlikely one that I thought about putting on my list, and I probably should have, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the Rocky movies. Adrian.
Adrian gets that like the wife on Breaking Bad hate.
Yeah.
I think it just
Look,
yeah,
the first one, she hardly talks. And I'm not being misogynist here, but as the deal goes on, the more she talks, the more trouble she causes. And it keeps Rocky, like, it gets him beat up worse. If she would have just supported him in his dreams, he would have fought for her and he would have done better. But instead, she clouds his mind, doesn't believe in her husband, doesn't support him. You know, he supports her with the pet shop,
right,
in her dreams of pet shop working. Anyway, that's kind of I say that kind of joke.
I should put Rocky 5 on my sports villains, just the entire movie.
See, Tommy Gunn, man.
Tommy Gunn. But when you know, who's the bigger villain in that movie? Is it Duke or is it Tommy?
I don't know.
You know, I'm saying because at the end of the day, Tommy Gunn's just a naive kid that got played.
Yeah, that's true.
But
the fact that Stallone or that Rocky does so much for him and then he turns his back on him.
Well, I wouldn't have done it. I'd have a little bit more loyalty than that. The other one, some of the other ones I had was Eddie Martell from The Replacements.
Yeah.
Quarterback for the Washington Sentinels. He was one. And they flipped his car over, and then the two offensive guards, Faison Love, and I can't think of the other one's name, shoots his tires out. That's good. John Gerard from
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights, another good one.
Yeah.
I wrote Apollo Creed down while we were talking about. I can't believe, and I kind of went over why I think he should be in and then Don Johnson's character, David Sims from Tin Cup.
Yeah. I thought about him too.
You talking about Shooter McGavin made me think about Tin Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good sports movies, and in most of your great ones have a villain.
Yeah.
Is there any that I left off of my list that you can think of that you?
No, you hit most of them. That I forget his name, but the bad guy from Bloodsport back in the day. He didn't talk much, but he was a good one. I think you hit pretty much most of mine.
Like I said, I just made a list, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah. I was trying to think of movies, sports movies I liked, and like Rudy. There's not really a villain there.
Vince Vaughn's character is a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
And they said Divine really wasn't like that. That there was a lot of that was romanticized.
Yeah. And then like Hoosiers, there's not really a bad guy there.
Well, there's that one guy that was the coach when Gene Hackman got there that, he was like, they have guys you didn't like, but I wouldn't say they're bad. They were bad guys, that they were the antagonist.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, those are good ones. Good sports villains there. I think that's a pretty good list. I thought it was interesting that we didn't have any of the same ones besides
and for as good as you have similar taste in movies. I mean, there's obviously some stuff I watch that you won't, and vice versa. Because like I was thinking, like one of her, because I think about sports movies that me and you both love, and I was thinking, White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's not really a villain in that movie.
No, there's not.
There's really, and like I was thinking Warrior too, another movie that was one of my favorites. Like there's really not a villain in that movie. It's more of the journey. If you think of like Miracle, for example, it'd be this is the team's journey.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention any of the Mighty Ducks movies. The Mighty Ducks, actually, they had some villains in there.
Yeah.
They had the Pee Wee coach, who was a jerk, who was in Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That guy's been in so many movies, and he was the prosecuting attorney in My Cousin Vinny. And literally the first thing that pops in my head is he was in Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore.
Yeah. Well, Clint, this was number 50.
Number 50, or goal of the anniversary.
That's right. Golden anniversary. Listen, folks, like, share, put it on your Facebook page and your Instagram and your Twitter and whatever else. Let people know about the podcast. We got the year one coming up in 2 episodes. We also have we did an interview that we're going to put out sometime soon with Dion Holloman, a young man who grew up down in Camden, and he's up for the USFL draft right now. And so excited we're going to let that drop. We got some other interviews that we're going to set up. We're going to start putting those out as kind of bonus episodes. We're going to do our regular episode like this, and then we're going to have some bonus episodes where we interview some people that we think are interesting, that have some significant stories to tell. And I think if you'll listen to the Dion Hallman one, you'll be impressed with the young man that he is and where he's come from and what he's continuing to fight for as he's fighting for his dream to be in the NFL and working through some of the lower leagues of professional football. But Clint, man, it's been a good one.
Oh yeah, man, 100%.
And it's we're excited to see what the Razorbacks do this week. We didn't talk about Razorback baseball. Started out with lost their first game Friday night, but won the next 2 and beat Illinois State and have some games coming up. So baseball season has started for the Razorbacks. So that's exciting. We'll have to do some.
And hopefully we have a major league season. That may be a story for another time.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing my Yankees stuff tonight. I don't know. We don't know if we're going to have any, professional baseball. We'll see. So, we'll see what happens there. Well, Clint, man, as usual, it's been fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's a joy doing this with you.
Made it through 50 of these bad boys.
50 of them under the belt, 50 of them in the can, whatever that means. Just heard them say it. Folks, have a great week. Be blessed. Do great things. Peace out. We out.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drive so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down. to know. Sun beating down so hard, I can barely breathe. Hard to